Hello viewers, we're in the city of Abeokuta, and right now we're on top of the hill to see a very great man, a hero in Nigeria, a man we all believe in, a man we trust. Let me show you why, so that you understand we're on the hilltop right here. You can see the whole of Abeokuta city. You know, there's only one man in this country that can occupy this position. We're talking of Uncle Shege. Yeah, some call him OBJ. We're going to ask him today, between OBJ and Uncle Shege, which name he prefers. We're going to go inside his house because he actually invited us. You know, he's everybody's father. He loves everybody. He's kind to everybody. And I'm sure there will be a lot of food, drinks, as usual. Every time you visit Baba, he's always like that. We're going to go in and talk to him. This is actually the episode we have been waiting for to start this program, because like I said, this is indeed a true Nigerian. The title of the program is True Nigerian, but this man is not only a true Nigerian, but a true Nigerian, a Tribosa Nigerian. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go in there and I'll present to you Major General, His Excellency Baba Olusegun Obasanjo. Follow me. Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome once again to another episode of our program True Nigerians, Heroes of Our Time. As you all know, this program is a program where we celebrate people who have made major impacts in our beloved country, Nigeria. People who are worth emulating, people who have set example. And today, in this program, you've had a lot of episodes, but personally, this is the best episode for me. This is the biggest one for me because by the grace of God, today I'm sitting beside a man I admire so much. I admire this man so much because of what he has done for this country. Everything we are enjoying in this country today, all the positive progress we've been having in Nigeria today is because of this man. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome His Excellency Olusegun Obasanjo. Well, we call him Uncle Shege. We'll find out today why they call him Uncle Shege or why they call him you know, he has a lot of other nicknames that we'll find out the reasons why those nicknames exist. If you are ready, I am ready. True Nigerians, heroes of our time, every bit Nigerian, every drop Nigerian. Your Excellency, sir, welcome to True Nigerians.
Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure, sir.
You're most welcome.
Sir, my first question is, like your name implies, your name is, in Yoruba, Olusegun means the Lord is victorious. You have been very successful in so many ways. You have written history in our country. You've led us several times, and all these times you've led us, we've seen a lot of positive changes. Those changes we're still benefiting and enjoying those changes today. I want to ask, you've been successful in every way. Have you ever failed in your life before? Has there ever been anywhere you would say that I have failed before?
Well, I thank you very much. There's no human being on earth who, no matter how long the string of successes may be that he has achieved, we will not have certain areas where things might not have gone the way he wanted, or where he had made attempt and the attempt had not quite succeeded. People have always forgotten that I contested being the Secretary General of the United Nations, and I didn't make it. I don't know whether you will not regard that as failure or whatever. But my international friends who thought that if we want to change the world, the UN must be one of the instruments of bringing about a new international order. And I was with them in a group that we call Interaction Council of Former Heads of Government. And one day they just said to me, look, we are here meeting annually, talking about what we should do about the world and all that. Shouldn't we get one of us to take on this assignment of the Secretary General of the United Nations? And well, we consider you appropriate for this. But initially I resisted, then they started pressurizing and writing to people, including writing to my own head of government then. Now, then of course the attempt was made. The long and short of it is that the attempt did not succeed. And of course, one of the veto powers in the UN saw before the election, the voting, saw the Nigerian permanent representative and said, oh, you Nigerians are funny lords, aren't you? And the man said, what do you mean by you Nigerians are funny lords? He said, it's about this Secretary General of the UN. He said, no. The Nigerian permanent representative said, no, they are not funny. They are serious about it. And the man said, they are serious? Yes. Although the office is the office of Secretary General, we want a secretary, not a general. Then I knew that what my fate would be. And of course I got to veto. One veto, it doesn't matter how many other votes you got. One veto was bad enough, but I got two. That's also made me distinguished failure.
Well, yeah, distinguished I will accept, because I mean, it's not that you were not qualified, but the general. So I would say.
Yeah, no, I think it was Bob McNamara who first came to me and said, look, yes, if we really want to make the UN an instrument of progress in the world, a man like you would be appropriate and right. But I know that some countries, including my own country, will not favor that type of situation, which is understandable.
Okay, sir, I want to ask this question. Most of the decisions you took and most of the things you did whilst you were the president of this country were things that we have longed for people to do, and most of them were daring. Most of them were things everybody knew as this is the right thing, but nobody was had the, I don't know whether to say, the guts to do it. So I want to ask, is there any element of fear in you?
Well, it depends on what you mean by element of fear. Any human being who does not fear God, then
apart from God,
I think the fear of God must be in any human being. And I have fear of God. I have respect for human beings. I worship my God, and I fear God. But having said that, I believe that when you are holding whatever position you are holding, which means that you are managing affairs of human beings, at whatever level or in whatever spheres of human life, whether it's public or private, religious, diplomatic, or whatever. I think you must be guided by certain principles. And after all, when you are managing human affairs, you want to do the greatest amount of good to the largest amount of people. Of course, you cannot please everybody, because if you try to please everybody, you won't please yourself, you won't please anybody, and you in fact will not please God. But what are the things that are really important that you want to try to do? And when you have identified those things, well, should you consult? And consult. Should you study the situation? You do. Do you push? You push. Do you appeal? You appeal. But do all that you believe should be done to achieve what you want to achieve. You mentioned some of the things. Let me take one or two. Take the Land Use Act. The amount of problem we had before the Land Use Act about land for development, and find the same piece of land being sold by 3 or 4 different people to the same person, and then when he wants to work on it, or that cannot help development. That's number one. Number two, if you look at the history of where revolution had taken place in the world, land had been one of the causes of revolution. That's number two. Now, so is it then? Of course, again we have what they call different land tenure system. How can you have one country and different land tenure system? Again, it doesn't look right. So for these 3 reasons, among others, I believe that we need a Land Use Act, which will make it easier for land to be made available for development, which will also harmonize the land tenure system or policy in the country, and which may also get us away from possible revolution that will be the cause of which will be land. So we believe this should be done, and we went out and do it. And when we did it, 2 people or 2 groups of people who think that they have been badly hit by it, lawyers and traditional rulers, those were the 2. They started to fight. They started to fight. And but the fact that more than 30 years now that had been in a statute book and still there, it's an indication, like you rightly said, that yes, it was something that needed to be done, and to move forward. And maybe people lack the courage or the understanding or the ability to do it. And then, of course, we have used it now for quite some time. Now, there's no law that should be cast in concrete, where if there's need for minor adjustments, minor amendment to make it work better than when it was put in place over 30 years ago, so be it. I don't take that as an example.
Talking about land, at the same time during your time, agriculture. Right now we're having issues with agriculture in Nigeria, because everybody is running to the city. Food is becoming a trend, and I know that at your own, when you were president, it's like we're moving backwards towards agriculture. I don't know, what advice do you
Yeah,
have?
I
What
think.
do you think is going wrong really?
Well, I think a few things have gone wrong in the agricultural plane. Don't forget that before the advent of colonialism, really what we had was agriculture and trading.
Nuts, cocoa, I remember.
Yeah, but and even during the colonial days, what we must say this for the colonial government, they look at certain aspects of agricultural products, groundnut, palm oil, rubber, cocoa. They made out to grow them in sufficient quantity to feed their metropolitan industry at all. And they call it cash crop. Now, as if producing maize will not fetch you cash. As if producing cassava will not fetch you cash. And of course, they put research and things in this area. And the development, particularly after the Second World War in our country by the colonial power, was essentially from products of agriculture. That's what led us to independence. But not too long after independence, oil became a significant factor in our economy. And then we all developed oil mentality. And oil mentality means that nothing is important in our life or in our economy or in our business again other than oil. We think oil, we add oil, which was unfortunate, and in the process we forget agriculture. And I must say that even when I was military head of state, you will remember something we call OFN, Operation Foundation.
Yes.
What can we do at the governmental level? We have something that they call ADP, Agricultural Development Program, which was supported by the World Bank. We tried all that. Now, it wasn't that we were not successful. For instance, by the time I left government in 1979, we were fairly self-sufficient in poultry. We were more or less self-sufficient in rice. I remember these two very well because they are food items. But the government that succeeded us decided that, oh no, things must be made easier, whatever that meant. So how do you make things easier? You import rice. Now, and if you remember, the government that succeeded us actually established a presidential task force for importation of rice, not for production of rice, which I believe is nonsensical, just to put it mildly. And then, of course, importation of poultry. So the poultry industry was destroyed. The little gain we made in rice production was destroyed. And I have a very sad story about importation of rice. There was a prince from Elisha, who was in MPN. He got license to import rice. And he got some Americans to give him pro forma invoice, and he opened letter of credit to import rice. After the letter of credit has been established, the prince told them that, as for variation and add $5 million, which he did. And when the money came, he said, look, give me my the bit of it, 50-50. And the Americans said, no, you didn't take any risk. We took a risk. So you get $1 million, we take $4 million. They took the case to the Nigerian official who was in New York. And the Nigerian official was trying to put his foot down. You don't treat Nigerians this way and all that. The Americans said, oh, Mr. Ambassador, you don't know what you are talking about. Treat Nigeria which way? This is the story. And we were not sure whether we would even get our money or because it could have backfired. So, Prince didn't take any risk. We were taking all the risk and we believe that. And actually, it's the Nigerian official who told me this story. He said he felt like digging a hole and going in. Well, that is one example. But talking about agriculture, I wasn't sure we could make it. But when I came in as elected president, the first thing that came out was that we got some money from buffer zone, or they call it buffer stock fund from cocoa. And that money was being frittered away. And what remained of it, I said, let us do something about cocoa, regeneration, redevelopment, and that succeeded. And of course, between 2003 and 2007, we increased our production of cocoa by more than 100%, from about 150,000 metric tons to well over 300,000 metric tons. Wow. Now, which means it can be done, and it was done. Now, as a result of that success from cocoa, we then decided to take other commodities. We took rice, we took vegetable oil, we took cassava, we took other tree crops. And so what happened? In cassava, we moved from 30 million metric tons to almost 50 million metric tons. So, in agriculture, take the issue of agriculture, for food security, we need two things, or if you like, three. We need availability, which means production, distribution, and affordability.